Hello and welcome to this game review. So, I understand the appeal of analyzing games where you crushed your opponent because it gives us a lot of good feelings, right? It makes us think that we're very good, etc. But it's not very instructive. And here, of course, you did look for ways to learn from the game, but as you saw yourself, you did quite struggle to find what to learn here, right? Because your attack was quite easy and you checkmated your opponent quite easily. You try to find a better way to checkmate, but a win is a win, right? That's not really where we can make the most progress. So generally, I would suggest trying to analyze games where you lost, try to figure out why you lost, and how we can minimize the amount of losses that we make, because that's where the most improvement can be made. So here we have this, again, the quality system, and as I mentioned in the plan, it's not a very principled system. I would suggest simply playing c4, knight c3, trying to attack more principally. But okay, e3, you're talking about the Vincent Keimer system. I'm not really familiar what this is. I know the Collie, as the Collie, there is the b3 system as well, which is the Collie Zukertort system, but they're all kind of the same. So okay, c5, c3, and here, black plays the move taking on d4, which is generally not a good idea. Now we get this exchange Caro-Kann structure, where black has not been able to develop the light square bishop, which means that generally white is slightly better and has the simple plan of playing knight e5. So this is what happens. Queen e2, so this is all correct. After knight g4, white finds this small tactic of taking the pawn h7, and this is kind of an elaborate way to exchange h-pawns, which probably is in white's favor, as at the end of this variation, white gets some good attacking chances. Probably h3 is also possible, and I'm not sure what exactly black was planning here. Probably he just has to go back, and after knight e5, again white has very simple play, probably f4, knight to f3, and continue attacking. But okay, this kind of works out as well. At the end of this, white takes on, black takes on h2, and here we get this position. Black should probably look for some kind of dynamics here with e5. This is of course not very easy to calculate, but black has to understand that statically he is more or less lost because of this bishop and the looming attack over this king. So something like e5 should have been found. And there's not that much else to do. For example, here, queen h5, black has to take, probably bishop f5. And sure, black might lose a pawn at some point, or have an isolated pawn, but at least he's not getting checkmated, and the king on f1 is not entirely safe either, so the game goes on. After bishop c1, now the game is very easy for white. Black kind of has to play f6. After this, play queen f7, which is more or less the only variation to not lose immediately. And the spin is kind of annoying. It's not that clear what to play. Probably c4, d5. Of course, white is better, but the game goes on. And you did calculate this, but there's not much else to do. After f5, as you pointed out, the king is way too weak, and even if white doesn't checkmate, there's the very easy target on e6, so the game is more or less over already because of this. Rook d8 is played, so we pick up the pawn on g7, we pick up an exchange here, so the game is already over. At worst case, we can just capture here. This will require zero calculation from us. We can just continue exchanging pieces, take the h-file, just invade, and you should be able to win this with your eyes closed. So already the game is over. This is what we have to understand. From here, there is not really that much to analyze, and we should spend our time analyzing less pleasant games, so to say. From here, sure, there were better ways to win, like rook takes e6 here is kind of winning because of checkmate after a few moves, but this is not particularly important to see, because at this point any move is winning, because even if we don't checkmate, we have a winning material advantage as well. Not to mention black is simply never going to finish development. So knight g5 works. You mentioned queen f7. I mean, all moves win here. And here you decided to play c4. You can take here as well. There's nothing wrong with this. c4 and c5, and this is checkmate. So yeah, so this was of course a very good game by white. Black did not really play anything correctly, and he did not look for dynamics when possible. So, pretty well played, but as mentioned, if we want to really improve, we shouldn't really dwell on these kind of games too much. Of course, we have to be happy about playing good games, so congratulations on that front. But looking for faster checkmates whenever any move is winning, that's not exactly what will change our level of playing strength. Here you did everything correctly, so there's not really that much to analyze. Like, yeah, this move, knight h6 somehow gives checkmate quicker, but this is not particularly useful because any move is winning anyway.